I'm Tim Miller, Operations Manager.
And I'm Matt Weber. I'm the Manager of Economics and Geology at Coda Minerals. Elizabeth Creek is our flagship asset, just near Woomera here in South Australia. And we've got about 1 million tonnes of copper equivalent across 4 resources in copper, cobalt and silver. So yeah, big developments at Coda in the last little while would be probably the transition that we made from a flotation-based flow sheet to a chloride leach-based flow sheet, which took us from copper, cobalt, silver project to one really focused on higher recoveries in the copper and the silver primarily, which keeps the really high priority commodities front and centre, and hopefully puts us in a much better position economically. I mean, the numbers certainly showed that. And then recently, again, just following the increases in the commodity prices that we've seen, we were able to re-estimate on a slightly more realistic forward-looking commodity price and bring the NPV of the project up solidly north of about $2 billion based on the scoping studies we've done to date. And since then, it's been all about the PFS. We've been out in the field drilling, currently got sample coming back and heading out for metallurgical test work, geotechnical test work, all in support of that the mining study and finalising that flow sheet, getting our process engineering going, and just pushing towards FID really. So the optimization that we did, that transition from flotation to chloride leach, it was really important because we always knew that our copper recoveries, and copper really is our flagship commodity here, weren't good enough. They were okay, they were pretty good, but they could be better. We were leaving a lot of money on the table. The new numbers that we're getting have copper recoveries up solidly in the 90s and silver recoveries pretty comparable, maybe higher in certain cases. And while that did mean taking the cobalt out of the economics, we're not giving up on it, it's just not in the current economics that you see, it also gives us overall higher economics, which is great, higher metal recovery, and call it a more reliable baseline. I mean, copper and silver are both massive markets, very liquid. There's no real question about product or the kind of variability you see in pricing of cobalt with whatever Glencore decides to do in the DRC. So it's more of a stable and predictable sort of economic baseline for the project, whilst also getting those better recoveries. And hopefully, in the not too distant future, we'll be able to talk about bringing the cobalt back into that flow sheet anyway with a bit more work that we're doing right now.
Now, of course, while all these technical aspects are important, it's why we're here in the first place, but the next steps of when we're into this PFS is the approvals, the environment, the people, all that side of it. So we're kicking off a hydrogeological drilling program. Now, unfortunately, the waters up in the north there has kept us back on that for a little while, but that's patiently waiting in the wings to kick off as soon as the ground dries out. That's going to help us establish that model, that water model and water baseline that we're going to need moving into the PFS. But while we've been waiting on that, there's so many other aspects we've been able to be working on. So around community engagement, native title and heritage, and of course, environment. Yeah, so finally, the upside for the stock really has to come from the de-risk of the project. And the whole idea of this PFS is taking a lot of that risk out, whether it comes down to the final approvals and we're moving that forward, the permitting, we're moving that forward with the PFS. And so all of those grey areas and questions around baseline, what's environment going to look like, that's all addressed and made clear so our shareholders, investors can look at it and see the sheer amount of work that's gone into this project on a desktop and the study side of things, which will help them feel better about the overall project. And then, of course, you've got the technical side that runs alongside that as well.
Yeah, we see when you look at a lot of projects historically, there's those really big points at which share prices do move, and obviously a lot of them are later in the process. But for us, we found that getting your PFS done and getting your environmental approvals in place both can serve as real catalysts to move that share price, and the data backs that up, and it's really our target to shareholders to get that re-rate that you get when you take your project from somewhat speculative to much more concrete.